We are quite clearly adrift on a sea of misinformation. Here's one example. The governor of California blames the massive uptick in wildfires this year on climate change, when the reality is the governance has misappropriated funding for fire mitigation, which would have prevented many of the structures lost. Case in point, Malibu burned not that long ago, many structures lost, and crying people on camera. Yet every home had trees and bushes allowed to grow to massive sizes to provide privacy, while the surviving structures mitigated their surrounding vegetation. The state and city didn't have the backbone to tell the rich and famous to cut their privacy in the name of safety. Now, had I posted these statements on other social media, it would get flagged as misleading information. It may even result in backlash on this forum. The covering over of free speech is so far out of hand that I didn't even want to bother bringing it up, since it's begging to have a steel door slammed in your face. I was looking at an article recently about how news sources are deliberately erasing news clips from their files that no longer feed their agendas. I'm sure they are not the only ones deleting our history. If you quietly and methodically erase one side of an argument, henceforth removing all facts surrounding one side, guess who's always going to seemingly have the upper hand? It has gotten so easy for politicians, media, to spew forth their ever-convincing narcissistic views, widely unchecked, unvetted, while facts are disappearing from saved files on an epic scale. Who is monitoring this? Who is there to protect our written, seen, and spoken history? Is there an agency or department watching for vanishing old headlines and articles? What's next? Superimposing someone's lips moving to a different verbiage than what they actually said? Perhaps forge their entire alternate existence and outcomes like the movie Eagle Eye? I mean, we already have the technology to put different words to people's public speeches or via computer recreate their vocabulary by existing spoken words. Soon, no one will know what information is true or false, unless you're a sheeple, accepting whatever the net and media tell you. We're kinda there. Where does the misinformation draw the line? When you tell someone you're at work and the algorithms and GPS contradict you, placing you at a crime or wherever fits a narrative? Or it corrupts a leader, making them ineligible for an office? Or perhaps just a coworker that wants your job and makes a fake video implying malice or dissent? Watch TalkTick sometime, that's all that dwells there. Deceptive clips of idiocy, and some that are downright scary as to what words they put to faces and how real it seems. Or will they be satisfied with simply rewriting history? So, anytime there's an adjustment from, let's say, global warming over to climate change, it's just sleight of hand, so there's no admission or apologies for being wrong. And backed by manipulated data or disappearing data. Kind of like this trifecta going on with Congress, the Federal Reserve, and the Treasury Department. One states there needs to keep America's head above water. Then the next piles on with their wants and needs. Then lastly argue for or strike down the previous two. Then repeat in a differing order simply to sway hope or to squash an agenda or overreach of power. You decide which. There's so much deceit I can barely differentiate. The point is there is mass intentional distraction, misleading information with potentially perilous outcomes economically and pandemically speaking. It keeps so many confused and disconnected that they end up tuning out and morphing into sheeple, being herded into the barn, given their weekly rations, then getting fleeced at will. If it all wasn't so disgusting and shameful, those at the top should be congratulated on playing their clumsy, fumbling parts so predictably. If you can't tell, I'm nauseated by those in power abusing it so blatantly, with no visible guilt or remorse. Welcome to the well-played latter stages of the globalist dystopia. Put on your feed bags. Run to your well-disguised wolfen shepherds for the next helping of their mind-numbing rancid grain, inedible to the aware. Make sure you control what's in your feed bag. Let them spin their fables for the masses. Find or keep your own greener pastures. Stay vigilant. Prepare mind, body, soul. Pray, love, live. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Be well.